everybody. Reviewing episode 5 of the Halo show. This one's called Reckoning, I believe. All I gotta say is, finally, it was a short episode. It was a little under 40 minutes. Spoilers here, obviously, as always. There's Marigold stuff in it. Kind of throwaway, pointless. Guan, and I can't remember the dude's name now. The other guy who was a Spartan that left when he was young, escaped or whatever. They're out in the desert after being chased out of there, out of the town or whatever. And he's gonna go off and find a new vehicle because they have like a dirt bike that's not working. He handcuffs her to the fucking bike. She has a fit. She does break free though. And eventually he comes back and she like knocks him out or he gets knocked out. And she points the gun at him while he's unconscious, but she doesn't pull the trigger, obviously. That's happening, whatever. Like, I'm like hazy on the other stuff. I didn't care. That happens back on whatever fucking planet they're on. His Master Chief's original like planet where he grew up. Redness or Erendas or something. They're messing with the other artifact piece, the big one, and it starts like all of a sudden it like makes a massive noise. Everybody like testing it and all this shit. Miranda Keyes is talking to her father, and they want her out of there because Halsey's like gonna blackmail. I think the woman's name is Admiral Margaret something. That woman, I can't remember her name. She's like, "You're gonna blackmail me because they're like, listen, you're done here, Master Chief, but can't be contained, blah blah blah." And like I said, a lot of that shit was just like whatever. I forgot about it, which comes up later in the episode. That all happens. Miranda gets taken off like the research of the artifact and stuff, so she's pissed and she's gonna leave. And then the fucking artifact makes this fucking noise. Everybody's like, except Master Chief, because I guess he's like a blessed one or whatever. He gets another vision from it, and then he sees in the vision that Halsey pretty much fucking took him, from his place. Because there's another scene in this episode, I'm pretty sure it's this episode, where there's another scene in this episode where they show Halsey and Jacob Keyes watching Master Chief. He like saves, he's young and he saves another kid. They're like on a playground type thing doing, I don't know, some kind of fucking thing they were doing. I don't know, some kind of fucking game or whatever it was. But he sees a thing where he's like, later on, you took me away. And then he goes to like punch, pretty much kill her, essentially. Halsey, but Cortana shuts him down. That was a little weird. But gotta remember, in this new canon, they're this separate thing that's not the same as the other shit, the games and the books. He's removed his pellet, his emotion pellet, like the other woman, Kai, did. The other Spartan. Well, he did it first. She saw him and did it. And he's like, whatever. And he gets knocked out. Some other stuff might have happened. Like I said, I like lost interest after what happens. I was like, fuck this. I'm watching this scene like 50 times. And then when he comes to, he's pissed again, and then Cortana's like slipstream or slip space break or some shit, have something break. And that means the Covenant's found out because when the artifact was making this noise and he touches it again, I think like the Covenant's like, oh shit, all of a sudden the other woman, the one that's with the Covenant, all of a sudden senses something and they know where it is. The other artifact is because they're back on Marigold checking out the location of the first artifact spot, trying to get clues or whatever. And Chief's like incoming, and then like that's when the shit fucking all of a sudden the Covenant fucking ships appear, fucking banshees are fucking flying everywhere, lighting everything up. I forget what the ship was, the big fucking ship, the UNSC ship, the big one fucking gets they're just like lighting this thing up and it explodes and crashes, and Keyes is like, fuck. And he doesn't say fuck, he's like, no. Because Keyes comes out, he's like, he tells someone else, he's like, get on that gun. All of a sudden, explosion. That guy goes flying. Fucking, like I said, Banshees lighting up everything. This giant ship gets taken out. Chief's fucking like, all right, get me a fucking. No, he doesn't say get me a weapon there, but he runs out. Or does he say, oh, whatever. He runs out. The other Spartans, I can't remember the other two Spartans' names. Dedic or Redick or something, and I can't remember the other woman's name. I only remember Guy's name. But he's like on me. And fucking, like, all right, yeah. And then Guy, early in the episode, Chief notices that Guy's hair is different color, and he's like, oh, and Cortana's like, yeah, I noticed it too. She removed her pellet. And Chief's like, you're not ready to fucking fight. Go back on the ship. This is before the Covenant comes. And she's like, yes, sir. She's pissed, but... And then Cortana's like, yeah, what about you, dude? Like, you did the same fucking thing. But then the other two Spartans go with him, and she's like, all right, stay back with the Marines and give us cover. Shit's just fucking exploding everywhere. It looks really... Some of it's cheesy, admittedly. Some of it looks a bit cheesy, like not big budget shit. They didn't have a huge budget here, clearly. But it has a gritty, kind of almost realistic feel. Explosions everywhere, guys running fucking all over the place. Because at first, it's just the fucking Banshees attacking. And, that all happens. And then Kai stays back. She's got a fucking huge sniper rifle. She's fucking shooting, hitting fucking Banshees are coming down. And then all of a sudden, like, hey, Master Chief gets and starts running, and Cortana's like, drop pods, fucking, here comes infantry, fucking, this is where I'm starting to, like, get chills. The fucking pods come down, Jackals start running out, Grunts start running out, and fucking... This was an interesting thing that I had to look up, because I don't know a lot of the book lore. I don't know a ton of the fucking Halo lore. I do know some. But, there's a lot of stuff going on, and fucking... the Jackals had like mini fucking plasma swords, and everybody, because I rewatched this scene on YouTube a bunch of times, and I watched it again on the episode. A lot of these scenes, because I wanted to see what other people thought. And some people were like, oh, what the fuck, why do they have those? And some people were like, no, in one of the books, they had like energy cutlasses, so they have little swords, and they have their shields up. There are little things here look weird. Some of the shields look kind of like bland, like they didn't have enough budget to fill in every little thing. Like, shit's going nuts, and then Cortana's saying shit into Chief's ear. He's got the fucking Magnum. He's fucking shooting people. And there's a funny part where he's like, Cortana's like, switch to secondary weapon, which is great, because I thought this, and other people like, yeah. I'll give the people who, like, are doing the thing this is like the Halo Combat Evolved Magnum, and that is the fucking primary weapon. That thing is the shit. And then she's like, switch to a secondary weapon. He's like, I know how to play the game, Cortana. And then he pulls out his fucking carbine or whatever it is. Whatever the fucking machine. Like I said, I know I forget a lot of them, but I forget a lot of the names of weapons. And he's shooting fucking people, he's shooting Jackals, Grunts. This is a fucking great part. When Marines on the turret, because people are busting out the turrets and shit on the Warthogs. There's one dude on the turret gets hit with a fucking needler, and fucking he just like, he starts spasming and like explodes into fucking red and pink mist. That was sick, and then a little grunt hops in and hijacks the fucking Warthog real briefly, and then Master Chief jumps on, and he's like, don't mind if I do, or he says something like, I'll take over, and he shoots him. And it's another cool fucking thing here is the fucking Spartans are keeping up and actually outpacing the Warthog, because they're super fucking soldiers, they're fucking booking. And she tells the other two Spartans, because they are this bone, they have to get the artifact onto Miranda Keyes' ship, because it's the only one that hasn't been fucked up, or whatever. So they're doing that. They're trying to get the thing because the Covenant wants the artifact, obviously. All shit's going on, and then there's another part early in the episode where like you see how cold Halsey is to Miranda, her daughter. Like, she doesn't give a shit what she has to say. She's more interested in the artifact. She doesn't not love her, but she's like, I don't give a fuck. This is my thing. And then Miranda gets fucked up because Miranda tells Kai to go back into the fight, and she's like, yes, ma'am. And that's when Chief sees her and it's like, all right, cover us. And they do their thing. And then Halsey runs out and sees Miranda's hurt and helps picks her up and brings her back. And now all that shit's happening. And fucking Keyes is back. Jacob Keyes, Captain Keyes is back with Kai and other Marines, and they're shooting people. And all of a sudden another fucking dropship comes and it's got the fucking lasers on, the little fucking turrets on both sides shooting. And a shit ton of enemies drop. And they're using, like I said, the jackals are using these little fucking energy swords, and they're fucking cutting through people, fucking. And, you know, grunts are getting killed, people are getting killed left and right. I'm fucking. Kai's taking people out, and she's like, oh shit, and she turns around, she's using sniper, and then she starts getting fucking hit from, like, every side, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't want her to die, you know? Because I kind of like that character, honestly, like. And she kind of starts not panicking, but she doesn't have that pellet in her, that emotion pellet, so she's not cold and calculated, but she's like, oh my god, she's seeing like other fucking Marines all fucked up and dying, and she's just getting pummeled though. She's getting fucking crushed by shots. So her fucking thing, they have a couple in mask fucking Iron Man. They were kind of weak, but the Iron Man look inside the fucking helmet. And her shield's down, she's getting fucking pummeled, and she's booking along with the fucking Warthog trying to get the thing, and he's like, he sees she's hurt, and he's like, I gotta help her. Halsey's like, no, get the thing. He's like, I can't let her die. And this is another sick part. He hops on top of a Banshee, shoots a couple magnum shots, and kills the fucking, I guess it would be an elite flying it. And he grabs on the bottom, and he like fucking uses like a hang glider, fucking launches it into I think it was the Covenant dropship that's still there. That all explodes, fucking bodies start going flying. And then he gets up, and you know, this is where it looked a little cheesy. There's a bunch of flames behind him. Some of it looked cheesy, but I still like the overall look, just some of the CG, and that's not on them. They probably didn't have a budget to fucking go nuts. And he gets up, and there's like a half fucking jackal, half its body missing, crawling around, and then a bunch of them get up. And they start picking up guns, and this is where, like, Chief goes into his, like, God mode, fucking. There's a bunch of them, and then this is great, too. And you see inside the Iron Man, they have to, and I agree with a lot of the people, they have to keep fucking showing his face, you know, which is like, you don't have to show his face during the fight, you know, you don't have to give us the Iron Man look. And, he starts shooting at him, and then he whips the magnum at a grunt, and the grunt's like, I thought that was funny. And he picks up a shotgun, and he's like, boom, boom. He's fucking slick. He's getting hit a few times, but he's fucking everybody up. Because he's trying to save Kai, who this Arbiter just starts wailing on Kai. And then he, like, pummels this Arbiter. Like, the Arbiter's kind of blocking, but then he's just beating the shit out of him. He pretty much beats him to death and stomps his face. And Kai's like, Chief. The artifact. He's like, the artifact. Because Master Chief's yelling and all fucking emotional, which I guess it goes with it because now his thing's gone, so he's experiencing more stuff. So in terms of the show, it makes sense, but this isn't what Master Chief would start screaming like a fucking loon, right? But he kills it, and he's like, Chief, the artifact. And Cortana's cool because she's saying things like, oh, there's 2 coming this way, 3 in our line of sight. She's giving him orders and shit. And then he goes to run to get the artifact because she's like, Covenant Spirit coming. And, you know, that shit. The fucking, like, 2 sides, and there's a bunch of, like, it, like, drops you with, like, an energy beam or whatever. That thing flies in, and this is where you're like, oh my god. A fucking brute just drops to the fucking ground. Boom, thing goes up. Chief's still booking it, and he slides, and he picks up an energy shield. Oh, real quick. He also uses a plasma pistol, too, at one point, which is cool. He's fucking boom, boom, boom. Some of the first-person Doom looks through the helmet where you don't see his face kind of looked cool. Probably unnecessary, but they kind of look cool. And, the brute fucking lands. A lot of people think it looks like Atriox from, one of the Halo Wars too, and he's not the main one, but he's in Infinite. He's talked about in Infinite. Because I think he dies at some point, like Cortana, I think, might kill him, or Cortana's fucking AI or some shit, right? Because there's another one that's under him, right? In Infinite, I can't even remember anymore. Either way. Or they might think it was Tartarus, the guy from the second Halo 2, the other fucking brute. But he fucking lands. Master Chief slides, picks up a jackal shield, but he fucking has the brute hammer, he fucking swings it, and Master Chief just goes fucking flying. And then all of a sudden his fucking, you hear beep, 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 you know, the fucking noise, his fucking shield's down. He's like, Cortana, I need a weapon. He's like, I don't think it matters. And he picks up one, he's fucking, I think he's yelling again. And he shoots at the thing. The figure kind of blocks it with his like fucking armor. And he just fucking, and he has a great look on his face when he like lands and smacks him. He's just like, what, dude? Like, he's like looking at Master Chief like, what? And then he gets the artifact. It's cool to use the gravity hammer to like bring it over to him. Kind of like Tartarus did, but he used it, I think, with the Guilty Spark in 2 to bring fuck, the other Marines, everybody comes back, and now the Covenant drop the Mackie, the blessed one, again. She's like, make it look good, so they drop her in a pot again. Master Chief's like, oh shit, Cortana's like, it's a human. So they're like, what's she doing here? And that's gonna be more next episode, I would guess, right? And then the other two Spartans, I can't fucking remember their names. They're like, they go back up to Kai, and they're like, are you alright, and she doesn't respond, so you don't know if she's dead now or not. She's just unconscious. I hope she isn't dead. I kind of like that character, honestly. I'm probably missing things. There are things I didn't like about it, like too much in the Mask Iron Man fucking thing. Unnecessary. Some of the Covenant weapons looked very, like, they didn't have any color to them. They looked very bland, like brownish colors, like the plasma pistols and stuff. Jackals and Grunts looked fucking great. The Brute looked fucking amazing. Like, a lot of people were saying his legs kind of looked more like elite legs, but whatever. He's like upper body and everything, the face. He looked like one Atriox from the other one. But I don't know, it could just be a random dude. Which a lot of people said, if that's a random Grunt, that makes it even scarier. Like, I mean, a random Brute, that's even scarier. And it's like, that's not even one of the badass ones. This one's just fucking like, it was sick. He swings the hammer, and Master Chief's just like, boom. He's just looking at him like, what are you gonna do, dude? That's awesome. But they have the artifact now, and like I said, the episode ends with Master Chief going up to the blessed one, the fucking Covenant spy human. And like I said, some of the weapons looked a little bland, and like I said, some of the effects they didn't look good. Whatever, I can understand it, but it was a gritty fucking battle scene, explosions everywhere, the fucking Banshees are all over the fucking place, you know. Cool shit's happening. It had a cool Halo battle feel. Finally, you know, we get that fucking battle, and it was pretty damn fucking good. I at least think it looked good. It was well done. I didn't mind the little jackals with the fucking, you know, little, like, I think that's why somebody said, oh yeah, they used them in one of the books, they used little energy cutlasses, and I'm like, that makes sense, because they're fucking really agile. They're kind of weak, but they're agile. I could see them flipping around and trying to fucking, they have their shields and shit. The Grunts are glad. The Grunt hijack and the Warthog was great. In the comments, some people were like, because I was watching that team, some people were like, oh my god, can you imagine if they were able to do that in Infinite, we'd be fucked. But you also realize how big even the Grunts and the Jackals are. Like, I think Jackals are bigger than average humans anyway. They're like, what, like 6'5" or some shit. They're maybe taller than that. But all that looked cool. I might be missing some stuff here, but it all looked really good. I fucking enjoyed it. Now, if you were digging the show and you were waiting for something finally and you still didn't like this, there's no point watching anything else, because they're not going to get it right for some people, and that's fine. You don't have to like it, obviously. I thought it was fucking great. I still want to see the fucking Flood now, though. No hunters involved here, which would make sense. I don't think they'd be dropping fucking giant hunters in for this. But, man, that fucking fight scene I loved it, man. It went up for about 12, 13 minutes. The Brute showing up was sick. You know, because there was one elite, and I think the elites were all in the Banshees, but there's one on the ground. And, they were all like, you know, the elites, compared to the Brute, I think the elites looked decent, but a little out of place. But the Brute looked fucking amazing. He looked a lot better than the elites do. A lot of people mention, like, they don't have, like, the elites have very bland armor and shit. Like, they usually have pretty, like, dressed up kind of armor and shit, but the Brute looked fucking great. He had, like, cool armor and shit. But I'd give this episode an 8.5 just because of that. Just because of the fucking fight. The rest of the episode, I didn't give a fuck about. You know, once it happened, I was like, I forgot all that shit. I was like, whatever. You know, the Quan stuff. Why can't I remember his name now? I knew it the other fucking ones. I don't care about that anymore. I'm like, dude, I want to see more of this. Of course, I know damn well there's gonna be no battles again, probably till the end of the fucking show this season, I guarantee you. I'd be shocked if they threw more action like that in, but, you know, they blew their load in this one, and I thought it looked fucking good. It felt like fucking Halo. I can understand people hating the story, but if you just keep giving this kind of shit, you can kind of feel like you can get past it. And like I said, there were little things that looked weird. Some of their shields looked brownish. It was weird. But I mean, I don't know, with the budget they probably fucking have for this thing, I think they did a damn good job, honestly. It just looked cool. Everything looked gritty. like I said, I might be missing a few things, but Master Chief throwing on the shotgun ship's cool too. It's a good angle too, where you see him just fucking like turning like boom, boom, you know, throwing the fucking Magnum to Chrome's great too. But like I said, I'd go 8-5 on this episode, and that 8-5 is strictly coming from the fucking battle. It was a shorter episode too, which whatever. They probably, like I said, budget constraints. They're like, oh, we gotta make this a fucking 10-15 minute less episode because we're fucking blowing everything on this fight. If there's a bigger fight, either Reach getting destroyed or the Flood getting to the mix in the last episode, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's a review of the 5th episode of Halo, and finally a fucking battle. Let me know what you guys think about it. I mean, not everybody's gonna like it. Like I said, it wasn't perfect, but I fucking enjoyed it. It felt cool. It felt like the game. I was getting like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome. Because it felt like a fucking cool battle. That's just the drop. Everything's hectic. Pods are coming down. Guys are running out. Enemies are running out. You know, fucking warthogs everywhere. Guys getting killed on both sides. Explosions left and right. But yeah. Thanks for checking this out. And have a good day.